Yep.
You
Back again. Another
back
episode.
again, right? Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Hey.
Banner man, don't know, don't know, don't know. Yeah, had to put out, had to put out, had to put out. Yeah,
Good
so
thing.
wrong. We had plenty wrongs. Wait, hold on, wait. I speeding, I speeding, I speeding, I speeding. Where's the pause for tonight? Where's the pause for tonight? Where's the pause for tonight?
Back a little fancy tonight.
Hmm?
Got some
Papa,
red wine.
Papa, Papa.
Got some red wine.
I hear, I hear. I went to we brethren, Farmer Jews. You know what I
Mm,
mean? The rum punch, the rum punch. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
lime back in season now.
Nobody this since the wedding. Since the wedding, we had some remaining. Yeah.
You still had leftover some there?
Well, it done now, but yeah, yeah. We had stocks remaining. But yeah, Independence Day killed it there. Independence Day killed off. You
Things was
remaining
nice for
stuff.
independence, but
Not really. It was just a small thing home as the family, and that was it.
okay.
Nothing to nothing to shout about. We was hoping to see fireworks from the hill, but we saw the top of the fireworks. So,
But that was what that was. You had fireworks.
nah, Arima,
Oh, the velodrome, right,
velodrome.
right, right.
Yeah. When you see top of it, so yeah, that was a little small line, and I was about it there.
Okay.
But stuff's done now. It's done.
Time to replenish.
Yeah, time to replenish. Time to replenish.
But I made sure I check Solera. I think Solera had a 2 day sale or something like that. I guess
A lot
some
of
real
places had, a lot of places had say, but only stuff I like to drink though, like food. All had like on
white
White
oak.
Oak and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Nah,
boy, rum is life.
not for me. Us. Rum means the next day will be short.
Alright,
Yeah.
alright. Well, kick it off now.
Hey,
I mean, you had the topics.
salute. Yeah.
Salute.
Hmm. So we had to start off with first. We had to talk about Bayer Leverkusen versus RB Leipzig. It was a
Game,
big game. It was a
I
big
would say game of the season so far.
yeah, for sure. I mean, we watched it. It started off where Leverkusen, a guy they were dominating. I mean, RB Leipzig wasn't playing bad,
No,
but
but I mean, Leverkusen just went 2 up, and
yeah,
they look more of the comfortable team that would finish off the game. Basically, they look as though they had the
right.
game in hand. It
Mhm.
started off that way. As you said, RB wasn't playing bad. It's just that Leverkusen got their chances and they 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 secured them basically. They put away the 2 chances that they had, and then the second half things changed. RB
Yeah,
came out
sure.
head down, going to goal. They had a chance that was disallowed.
Hmm.
That didn't deter them. There are a couple chances that were saved. That didn't deter them. Uh, yeah, them fellas and them, there was out for blood.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was Leverkusen got complacent or it was just RB Leipzig was playing that good because it was this high pressure line for the entire half. Um, but yeah, they just wasn't stopping. They was on that juice. Yeah, and it was just going and going. So the streak is over for Xabi Alonso and Bayer Leverkusen.
It
First
was what,
loss
35
in
games, 36 games,
35
35.
games, yeah. 35 games, yeah. Now a 35 game unbeaten streak has gone. Um, the last real loss was actually to Atalanta in the final of the Europa. So, yeah, I mean, can't knock Zabi for what he has done thus far. Team still looks good. I guess it was inevitable at some point they would lose.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying that we don't expect them to have another undefeated season, and I think it's better that they get it lost out of the way now, the rainy season, rather than so many middle when it is they're probably fighting for the championship, basically. Because we expect them to at least um, put up a fight to defend the title. So I think it's better that they get that what if or when they're gonna off their back. So now that the streak is over, they don't have to worry about that. They can just buckle along and play football. And it came at a good time too, in the sense of right before the international break. So, I mean, you know, you don't really necessarily have a spillover to the next week. Whereas that you're like, everybody talking about it still, it's still fresh now.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have a 2 week break. Guys could go play for the countries or who not get some rest, get some training, and get some endurance in because it's still early in the season, and you come back for the next game and you with a fresh mindset that basically.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the thing is the response now, right? What was going to be
Yeah.
the response of like seeing that they've actually lost the game now, finally? I mean, outside of the Europa final. So, is the response now? The good thing is that you don't have to respond, as I say, next week. You have a little time to build up, see what went wrong with that game, etc. Yeah, and yeah, just move on from that point. On another note, though, I just want to say this guy, man, Frimpong, wow, wow, for Bayer
Different.
Leverkusen, whew, yeah, boy, yeah. I mean, he's supposed to be a right backer, but that wing roller really suit him. I mean, he's come back and defend too. He's really like I'm more like a wing back more than anything else, but
Kind of a hybrid winger.
yeah, God, homie on a next level with that pace. And he could control it too. You know, some people
Yeah.
have pace and they just can't control the ball. Nah, but you have it, but so I mean he scored too, but I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
like up to him, he look like a player. Um Not someone you'll purchase to be an actual right back. I think there's someone you'll always be complaining that has space behind him whenever a team comes to attack if he's a right back. But yeah, in a tree center back setup where he's
Mhm.
actually like the winger in the midfield, trouble man, trouble man,
I mean, we will
trouble.
see what they do with him as the season goes along. But I mean, he's definitely a nice weapon to have.
As even this guy looked really good. I didn't even know he had all them touches. Boniface. Seen
Who?
Boniface was it, but I see the forward for Bayer Leverkusen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Had real touches. I was like, well, all them touches come from? Now he looked pretty good. I don't know what, as I said, I don't know what with Leverkusen. It looked like they just fell apart. But again, no knock
I wouldn't say
on
that
Leipzig
they
though.
fell apart. You know, they kind of look like they would like what they normally do in the sense of, all right, a team have them on the ropes and think that that is it. Which happened a couple of times, a few times rather, within the streak, and then like some way in the extra time, the lengthy extra time, they find a way to rise above and actually like, either win the game or equalize. You know, but I mean, it was inevitable. They were gonna lose at some point. The team does not look bad. Team looks very good still. It looks very strong. So I mean, it's barring any major injuries because you know that's always a thing. I expect them to challenge for the title again.
I think so too. I don't think that it's a major setback. It only becomes a major setback if they happen to lose like next game. If they, it depends on what their response is really. So yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. We
Hmm.
will wait and see how that goes. This guy looked really good also for RB Leipzig. Openda, the
Yeah,
forward. Yeah, he was all over the place. He wasn't playing. He wasn't playing. it's always good to see these players go. Like if they find that zone,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, I think he found that zone. He was
Nah, he was on
unstoppable
one.
in that
He was
zone.
on one. I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
had a couple of breakaways. Um, yeah, I mean, as I say, there are a couple offsides, but that didn't deter them at all. Whatever obstacle that they had in the game, it didn't matter. We had a plan, and they executed the plan.
for real,
So I mean,
for real.
credit and hats off to them. So right now they are the streak breakers.
They are the street breakers for sure. Not it's not only Atalanta only now.
Mhm.
Yeah. But moving on to that, in terms of streaks, what we touched on this last week,
Mhm.
but we have to touch on it again. Man U versus Liverpool, right? And when I talk
Mhm.
about streaks, I saw a report um, was yesterday that before that game, when it comes to Man U versus Liverpool, the aggregate score is 26 goals to 7. With 26 goals being scored by Liverpool, 7 by Man U. It's like,
This is
I
in
mean,
what time? This is what span?
this is in the time period since after Alex Ferguson, if I'm not mistaken.
So good. Alex Steve like what about 10 years now? 8 years?
Yeah, it's about 10 to 11 years, yeah.
Right. So the past 11 years, let me say they play each other average of what, twice a season?
Yep.
Three times in maybe given cup games
No,
and stuff.
they won't count the cup games. This was EPL
This is
only.
strictly league.
Yeah, so it have to be at least about 20 times that they met.
So looking at 20, 22 times that they played each other, and the aggregate is 20, how much to 7?
26 goals to 7 goals.
So Liverpool almost averaging a goal plus per game. Let me just say in that in those 20 something games.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you see it now, right? You see it now. You see it now. It looks terrible, bro.
so, so, so Liverpool basically has Man U's number for the
Yeah,
past
when
10 years, 10, 11 years.
yeah, they actually say that's how at this point they feel Liverpool have two home grounds, which is one is in Liverpool and one is in Man U. So one is Old Trafford
One is Anfield.
and one is
Damn.
Anfield, right? Yeah, 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 yeah.
But they close in proximity, no? So there's like about 10 minutes, 50 minutes
From
at that
when I
thing.
went, I'm not sure. I know Liverpool. It's more up to the north.
Yeah.
I think it's more than 10 to 15 minutes. It could be about, like we say, about the average about between about an hour between each other. Um,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So I guess there are two home grounds about an hour away from each other to
Damn.
be able to, do what they got to do, right? And that was 26 then, right? So we didn't add the 3. So right now it's 29 to 7. Yeah. So, yeah. So if we add the 3 goals that were scored in the last game, it's actually now 29
29.
to 7. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In terms of goals scored when Liverpool meet Man U. Yeah. Hmm.
Wow. So I so we well, I asked the question last time, like what's wrong with Manu? What went wrong in this last game? Let's break it down to that. What went wrong? Because I mean Casemiro had a stinker, as you pointed out.
Wow. Yeah, it was. He really had a
So
stinker.
much so that they
They
took
pulled
him
at
off.
halftime.
They took him off at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Um it's not much else went good for them though. I mean what went wrong? What went wrong? What
I would say much. I think at the beginning of the game,
Mm.
before Trent scored the offside goal, Manu actually wasn't looking too bad in terms of they were knocking the ball, they were giving up the ball easily. It was looking a bit more even till that point. Once Trent scored that offside goal, I think that's when you started to see Liverpool kind of grow into the game more. And I will say it right now. Yeah, Casemiro had a stinker, but Gravenberch also had a fantastic game. In fact, Gravenberch, McAllister, and Sabasloy had great games. So that midfield has dominated Man U midfield. Um, Ziggy is not a striker. Um, I know everybody trying this forward who's wide players to be in the middle. Everybody wants to do this thing, but it doesn't work for everyone. Um,
What would you
but
say is his best position? Because I mean, he's not nine. I would say he's not nine. It's more 10.
no, for Bologna and Syria, I think he was playing on the wing, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was on the left wing. So
Well, I think it was a
uh,
two-man team up front, I believe.
something to that effect. So, but he definitely is not a leading the line type striker.
Right.
Yeah. So to me, that he out of range there, but
But
then
he had a
again,
couple of chances.
yeah, yeah. Then again, they don't really have much more that they can put up there in terms of forwards because again, Hoyland is injured. They don't really have a backup striker per se. It will be between him and Rashford. And to be quite fair, I would try Xerxes over Rashford. Not that Rashford had a bad game, but not that he had a good game either. He was just like meh.
He was
It was
average.
yeah. If it was FIFA ratings, you would get the 6.0, which is the if you come on the field, you get 6.0. That's what he would have got. He didn't really affect the game in no major way at all. So people yelling Ten Hag out, I can understand why. But Casemiro
He
giving away the
should have
ball
been out
twice.
since the end of last season, but the FA Cup kind of, I guess, saved them.
Well, a trophy is a trophy, right? Or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I can
exactly.
understand that. But if you remove him, Mr. Replace him with who? And we had that conversation too. Who will be the person to replace him?
I mean,
Zidane don't look like he
I
interested
don't
in
see
doing
Xavi
anything.
going to England and doing anything different. By the time he started making his excuses, the media will want him out of there and the fans will want him out.
Yeah.
Um, you mentioned Zidane. I don't see Zidane going to England. Um, I think we might be looking at too much of big name coaches. I'm not sure if they try the underling in bringing in Ole. That kind of sort of worked when it and then until it didn't. So I'm not sure what is the plan to really inject some life into the team. They had
I don't think
Mourinho, they
that
get rid of him.
I
They,
don't
they,
think that there is anything that they could do to inject anything at this point. We have to let it play out. At this point, to me, it makes no sense moving Ten Hag now because all they're going to do is just reset everything that he did for the last 3 years. So, well, this is his third year. So, I say stick with it, see what happens, and actually have a plan rather than just run to the next manager because in Manu's case, they went with big managers, wasn't that successful. They went with no name managers, it wasn't successful. So at the end of the day, if all these managers are in and out, um, at this point, we had the city players.
yeah, but
Yeah,
who's the players that you would get rid of? I mean,
Rashford. Sorry, cool on the chest there.
oh
Cool on the chest.
gosh, oh gosh. Yeah, but he can't be the only problem though, because I mean,
No, he's not.
I mean, they've brought in players. They've gotten rid of players. They've gone young. They've gone experience. They've tried, I guess, every solution under the sun, but nothing is working.
Agreed. I still will get rid of Rashford because he's just taking up a spot and not really doing
Yeah, but
anything.
we upon our left
Agreed.
though.
Somebody else. At this point, I don't think I would actually get another striker and put Ziggy on the left.
But
You can actually on the right.
which begs the question, which we've had previously when it is even last season when Madrid was without a true number 9. Who? We've just seen Osimhen.
That is the day. You can't get no better than that right now.
In his case, I don't know if it's him or his agent or Napoli being vindictive. I'm not sure what it was, but you hear a lot of reports about he wanted his buyout to be 130 or something like that, or he wanted his salary or something to be about 300K a week. There was a deal for Saudi that was in place until it wasn't in place, and now he's on loan to Galatasaray.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was actually supposed to be in limbo, but Galatasaray gave him a stay execution. So I think he also has a clause where it says that I think he's open. I think they leave it open where it is if January comes around and big clubs come sniffing, he's available for transfer. So
Right.
maybe they wait till January to see how things are going in Turkey for him. Maybe.
Maybe. I'm not saying no, but
I mean, there are a lot of clubs that could use a number 9 like him.
a lot of clubs, I
What
don't understand why
is his
one
name
went
now
for it.
tarnished due to what went on with that situation in Naples?
I don't think that's a bad tarnish. That's a club with a president who has an ego and a player who has an ego, and the both of them held on to this ego for too long, and no one got the result that they want. Because if look at it from Napoli standpoint, yes, you have a team and you have a starting 11 and you don't and you may not need him, but you still have to pay him. So they're not really working out for you
Nine or
that
10 million
way.
or something like that.
So they're not working out for you. And Oshiman in himself, as much as he wants an important role, there were teams that came in fair and he didn't want to go. So at the same time, both of them had their ego and their arrogance, and it to me didn't work out for either one of them. So I don't think that tarnishes their name. I mean, we have people like Mason Greenwood who's still playing football. So or for his whole
But I mean,
issue in terms of legal
to
issues.
Greenwood's credit, he's left whatever happened on the off the field and has buckled along and been playing exceptional football.
And I say no, I'm not saying anything against Mason Greenwood. I'm just saying there are people who had worse reps,
Worst
yeah,
scenarios.
reputations, yeah, and they were back in and playing. So to me, not getting a transfer and whether it is your ego or Napoli's ego, to me that's not a big deal. I think
Okay.
what's more important for Manny right now is to have someone who could reliably put the ball in the net and cause that particular and cause issues for opposing defenders. And I don't think that Rashford does it, and I don't think that Xerxes can do it as a striker.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's a good solution right there. That's a good simple solution right there.
Do they have the playmakers, enough playmakers to to serve a player like Osimhen? Because I mean, Osimhen is a true 9. He ain't he ain't no Benzema, he ain't no type player. That I mean, I ain't calling, I ain't comparing anything. I just say he's not the type that will
Mm.
come back in the middle, get the ball, and try to set up the play and thing. Nah, he's a man like, yo, give me the ball, let me go and score. So can Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho provide that kind of service to a player like Osimhen?
I think they could. I don't see a reason why not. I think they could. I think there's enough weapons there within Manu that could actually provide enough service to a striker who is willing to put himself about and score. Let's just put it like this, right? Nicholas Jackson, who needs at least 2 to 3 or 4 chances to actually score one
Alone?
goal,
Alone?
right?
Alone? Alone? 3 to
Right?
4? The man
He,
was a Joselu, though.
right?
Man
He
was a
was
Joselu. Joselu at least you know like 3, 4, the fifth one he might get, or he might get a 6. And then the 7th one it in for sure. Jackson to get the goal alone by himself and still throw it. I think he
but he
actually
still scored goals. He
huh?
still scored. I think he still scored 21 goals last season, if I'm not mistaken.
So much.
I think he scored a good bit of goals last season. So if
So it's
someone
not
like
21,
that,
someone kind of high, yeah.
it's something kind of high, yeah.
Someone
But
kind
I'll
of
double
high.
check it. I'll double
Yeah,
check it, right?
yeah. That little
But
suspect.
yeah, he scored
But
a
more
good
12
amount of
than
goals.
21.
I know you're correct. It's about 14 goals, right? Yeah, 14
Sounds
goals.
about right now.
Right. But that, I mean, that still isn't bad
It's not
though.
a bad. It's not a,
Right?
no. It's not a bad. It's not a bad stat. But
Yeah. So
considering the amount that he's thrown away, I'm talking about
and
chances as a main strike as a 9.
yeah, but
The
think
average,
about
the average
the mess that Chelsea was last season. Might still be this season, but let's just look at last season. With that mess, the ability to still score 14 goals. I think Osimhen is a level above Jackson, and I think that with Garnacho putting in good crosses, with Zirkzee putting in good crosses, with Bruno playing in the middle, I think that they could provide enough chances for Osimhen to score. And if not, Osimhen has enough skill to knock down a ball for someone to run on to take that shot and score.
I suppose. The next thing is if Ten Hag's system would provide for that kind of fluidity for those type of players. Because I mean his system is what is his system?
That is true. He doesn't really have a set system.
It's kind of like Sunday league and it's like yeah, hey fellas go out, here's the ball.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do Sunday League. That's not you wicked. Nah. I won't put it as bad as Sunday League. I just think that he hasn't figured it out yet. And I
It's
don't
been
think that have
3 years now.
anyone
How
who
could
could.
you not figure it out?
But who could figure it out? There's
You
no one.
generally have the same players though.
Jose Mourinho couldn't figure it out. But
Who's
he
Mourinho
won
didn't get the
trophies.
chance. I mean, to me, Mourinho's situation was more like him opposing the board because he's
Jose Mourinho.
yeah, exactly. He's a special one. And he would call shit. And he would say it in the press and he would say it to whoever would listen. So I think it was more like a issue with the board and him getting along and with his charisma, for want of a better term. Right. So
Right.
I wouldn't and plus I don't think Jose had enough time to really figure it out. So
Okay, but you still had Van Hal, you still had I'm not gonna put Soldier in that. I'm putting Soldier to the side because he's not a well-known coach, right? You still had Ragnick who was there. They had this guy who came from Everton who succeeded Sir Alex Ferguson. I can't remember his name right now. I think he's West Ham coach right now. He was there, right? So it's that no one could figure
they've
it
had
out
big names,
because
but I mean did those big names stay long though? I think most of them got like a season and a half or 2 seasons at least.
I think Van Gaal was there for 2 seasons at least,
longest.
right? Jose could have been there for about a season, season and a half. Um, but at the end of the day, as I say, no one else figured it out. Figured it out. So I can't really blame Ten Hag. I'm not saying that he's not to blame, just like I said last week. But at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, it can't be him alone. When you listen to Jose Mourinho and stuff talk about the club, you realize that there are people who are there since he was there that he wanted to get rid of because they just wasn't performing.
Mm-hmm.
Rashford, right? And they're just there. Yeah, they collect another salary, but Rashford had one big season and that was it. He has not
He hasn't lived up to that
improved. He
season
hasn't.
since.
Yeah, he hasn't. So
And to
for
be fair,
me,
I mean, he got a lot of stardom, and I think more. I think what has carried him as well too is his off-field endeavors. He does a lot within the community as and stuff. So I think that has kind of solidified his role within the club and within the fan base as well. But on the field, he really hasn't lived up to that, as you said, that one season, or let me just even say 2 seasons, um, because he showed some promising season before, and then he came on and had an excellent season, and then hasn't done anything since, really and truly, because he hasn't done anything for England, he hasn't done anything for the club as well. So, and in terms of on the pitch, but at this point, what they ain't gonna get anything for him, really and truly. Um,
wherever he can recoup it.
guess, but I mean, they've brought in a multitude of players that Rashford not performing shouldn't be an issue.
It does. Left wing is a key position. I mean, let's be
He
real.
doesn't. He
Casemiro,
doesn't always play.
Casemiro has been bad, and he has a key role too. I'm not saying no. He has been very
Then you
bad.
had Luke Shaw. You had this next joker in the back.
Luke Shaw is always injured.
Right.
That's Luke Shaw's problem. Right.
This next joker in the back who
Is that Maguire?
yeah, like how, how. Anyway, enough of Manu. We had them for a long time on the last episode. We touched on them
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
6 hours. Let's jump across into La Liga. Barca had a splendid time this weekend,
Yeah, yeah. They were dancing all over the place. I see Rafinha and Yamal was boogieing down and thing.
making
Yeah,
TikToks on
it
the
was
field.
serious. Yeah. Basically, making TikToks on the field.
So I mean, Barca did their thing against Valladolid. Um, you mentioned Rafinha with a hat trick. Wasn't
That's
seen that
strange.
that was not
Okay,
on the bingo cards, but okay.
very strange. But you got to give credit to credit is due. Even though the season is still very early, I think that was around 4, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
Wrong three.
no, it wasn't 4. It was 4.
4?
Cause Madrid 3 games is a draw, win and a draw. So and then they just win again. So yeah, so I was wrong 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So credit to
Oh
Flick.
yes,
Flick
because
has
the
midweek game.
midweek
Yeah.
game and then the weekend game. Right. You're correct.
Yeah. So I mean credit to Flick in terms of implementing a strategy that seems to be working right now. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, can't be mad at him. It looked like he have Lewandowski back to closer to his best also. I mean Yamal balling.
Yamal
So
doing
yeah.
Yamal things.
I mean, they have played reasonably difficult sides so far in terms like Athletic Bilbao, in terms of the side Valencia
Yeah.
have played them, and they have played well and they won. So
Mm-hmm.
so far
They've won
so
all the
good to
games.
them. Yeah, so far so good to them. So can't really complain too much in terms of what Flick has brought to the table thus far. And this is without Fatty coming back to the side as yet. I think he's now back to being fit. Garvey isn't really back as yet. Um, so he's doing well with what he has so far.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Barca are doing what they are expected to do. Um, they have secured all points so far. So it's still left to be seen what goes on. As I said, it's early in the season. Um, Barring any major injuries, Barca as well are dealing with their injuries. Um, but players are coming back, so that should bolster the team some more as well too.
Mhm.
Um, Speaking of injuries though, Madrid kind of I don't know what went on this in this win. Mbappe finally get off the mark. People can get
Right.
off his mark. Fans can breathe a sigh of relief again. But coming off this good win that they had over the weekend, Sunday, as a matter of fact, a lot of injuries. You're seeing Ceballos, he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. Um, sure, many picked up a knock as well. He's not he pulled out of the international games for France. Mendy also picked up an injury as well too. So what's going on with Madrid, dog? What's going on with your side? What's going on with our side?
So it's several things. So one, I got saw reports that there's is not major injuries. It's
Mm,
really precautionary as into why they came back, seen as is Nations League and nobody's really take down seriously.
right.
So
Nothing
they just
serious.
came back to rest to make sure that those niggles don't become anything more. But ideally speaking, overall with Madrid players, that is adaptation. Losing Tony Cruz is a huge loss in our midfield, extremely huge loss.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and having Mbappe playing up front with the three that they want to have on top is a bit difficult because
Everybody
we
likes he left.
not only everybody likes the left because I don't see that being a big issue if there's movement. I think that the issue is, well, again, the Tony Cruz issue, and because
Mm-hmm.
there are now three attackers, you can't have three attackers in the modern game who are not pressing or doing some kind of defensive work. To be fair, Goes does some level of it, but there still needs to be some effort put there by the forwards to make something happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is that you'll be caught out a lot, especially if we have um, Carvajal bombing up the right. Well, we know Mendy not going far. Mendy does get nosebleeds
I
when
mean,
he goes
he
up.
reaches up, but he's not doing anything.
He, he, he reaches up like he's reached like a flag and he's like, hold on right there. Yeah, fellas, I hear if you need me.
I'm here. I'm right here.
Yeah, I hear if you need me. Pass back if you need me. But yeah, so it's a learning curve at this point. Um, to be fair, this game, while it still wasn't great, was much better than the other three, in my opinion. At least there was
Mm-hmm.
some fight, there was some bite to it. Ceballos got this start. I don't think that he didn't have a fantastic game, but his profile, his attributes made it a bit easier because he can defend. Um, so that kind of helped out the midfield a bit.
Yeah, true. I
Uh,
mean, it wasn't what didn't have to do everything, and Freddy
Correct.
was able to push up and be a part of the offense more or less. You know, he didn't have
Correct.
to tack back as much and to cover for the spaces that you would leave. So um, it 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 worked in the midfield in the sense of all the gaps and spaces were covered, especially on the
Right.
defensive side of it.
Mhm.
Um, sure, many had an excellent game. Fedi had an excellent game as well too. Your man of the match.
For real. What?
The defense, Rudiger and Militao. For the most part, they had a solid game. Couple little chances, but um, they handled defense looked a lot more calmer and a lot more in control, I would say.
Mhm.
Right? Going forward, you saw a lot of switching between Vinny and Mbappe. 1 minute, one is on the left, next one is in the middle, and it like I was saying, I wasn't seeing what was being what was the head narrative in the media being social media and or I guess Spanish media, because they were saying that they were pointing out times where it is Mbappe was a little frustrated for Vinny not passing the ball in certain situations, or either or shooting when it is he was open. I mean, these things happen. You have two or three players who basically are goal scorers in their own respective ways, right? So and added to that too, they are more or less two or three speed demons as well too. I'm throwing goals in it loosely, right?
Mhm.
So you would expect there are times where it is somebody takes a shot that the other person think that they're open.
Mhm.
It happens. It happens on any. It happened in the BBC era. It happened in the MSN in Barcelona. So these things happen. But hats off to Vinny in winning the penalty one, and also giving the ball to Mbappe to take the penalty. That showed a lot of class on his part. Um, and also it also helped with Mbappe's confidence, I think, as well too, in sense of he got the first goal, and then given the penalty, he got that easily put away. So I mean, Vinny knows the goals will come for him eventually, but it's just a matter of getting the new player acclimated and comfortable, and also giving him that confidence. So I mean, credit to Vinny for doing that. Um, Goes did his usual thing where it is it's like he's a ghost, then he appears, he looks brilliant in spurts and then disappears again. I would like to see a little more consistency from him. Not sure how much of that we will get, because we've been saying that for about the past 2 years now. I mean, so I don't know. It's still left to be seen. Brahim Diaz,
Super sub.
super sub, new Asensio. He brings a lot of energy, which I love. So it changes the dynamic of the team and also the game as well too. And um, his role was different this time. They didn't have him on the right when they brought him in initially. They had him in the middle, and he for his credit, he excelled in that position, whatever that the team needed, and he brought that spark. So um, hats off to him as well too. So I mean, this is my first time actually seeing a whole game of the team for the season. You've seen more of the team than me. You've seen more of the teething problems. But to me, they didn't look great, but they didn't look bad. And the different, as I said, the different highlights that I pointed out, it worked.
Yeah, I still think that the team, as I say, don't have a level of balance. Um, I don't hate goals. I
Mm-hmm.
think goals is a good player, but I think when it comes to the front three, I think that is the guy that more than likely will be sacrificed to get the real balance when Jude is back, when Kamavinga is back. I don't think moving forward that they could go with that three in front. For the same reason, when it comes to defense, we need not that, and again goes does try and put in the work, not shouting and not trying to say that he doesn't, but at the same time, the level of work he would put in compared to Jude or Kamavinga is totally different. So I'm not saying that he wouldn't get play. I'm just saying I personally feel that it's
Certain
going to
games
change
he
to a
could be
4-4-2.
sacrificed for.
Yeah, I feel it'll be a more 4-4-2, and then if it's a like we need a goal or we want to put extra pressure on the team or whatever, that is when goals will come in and we'll play more of a 4-3-3. So
But I
I mean,
mean,
we'll wait and see what happens.
yeah, I get that. But speaking of that, you say bring him in as a sub. Some of his best games earlier on in his Real Madrid career that were games that he came on as a sub. Because the Champions League game when it is Madrid played the beautiful ball for him to I think that was against City, if I'm not
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
mistaken, and he scored. I mean, it was a game he came off the bench. So I'm not saying he's a role player like that, but is it that maybe he needs time to watch the game and come in and be a hitman in a sense? Like, all right, this is your role. Do this. We down or we need need something different. Is it that he needs to be that now or I don't know.
My biggest fault against Ghost right now is that he has not made the right side his side. Yes, we know he is great on the left, but you're not going to get that left side. Worse yet now, with Mbappe being there. You're not getting that left side. The
Right.
both of them will need to be injured for you to get that left side. So to me, he has to make the right side his own, and it's not impossible. Bale was a totally left-sided player. Played on the right hand side and played very well on the right hand side for Real Madrid for a number of years. Um, Many other players have done it, so I'm not saying that he can't do it. To me, he has to do it to become successful. So he is already successful in Real Madrid. To be more successful or to be considered a starter, he has
So
to
he
make that
solidified
right
his role,
side.
basically.
Yeah, he has to take that right side and make it his own, and stop hoping to get the left. Stop hoping to get number 10. You're not going to get those. Although I think he would do very well as a 10,
Mm,
you're not going to get those. You might be able to switch every once in a while, but you're not going to own that role.
right.
So he needs to do that, get comfortable on the right, be able to do what he can do on the right. Because to be fair, the first goal that was set up by Real Madrid in that game came from goals coming from the right.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Because
came
you,
from
you
him.
could
Them.
you have more balance if everything is on the left, while it could work when you're attacking on different sides, you won't have defenders being able to settle one and then know what side everything is coming on. Because if goes attacking one time, then Vini, then Mbappe went on the left, then so defenders be like, okay, Dan, which way we going now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Compared to that, everybody's running on the left and right. Okay, well, once you lost the ball, everybody got it closer to the left because you know they're coming down that way. So to me, he just has to do that. Again, I'm not knocking him as a player. I like him as a player. In fact, in terms of his skill set, he is better than Vinicius. I know that's a controversial thing to say, but he strikes the ball better. He could pass the ball better. He actually is a better dribbler in terms of effectiveness of his dribbling, right? And
Yeah.
he
We
shoots
need more
much
beats for
better.
speed, basically.
Correct.
Not
So
not necessarily skill.
what Vinny has over goes and what makes Vinny looks way better than goes right now is Vinny is aggressive in his play. I go and take you on if I take you on 10 times and you get the ball from me 8 times, the other 2 times it go be criminal because I go and cause it. Yeah, I go and cause it. And that is my problem with goals. Goals is a little bit too chill
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to how he plays his football.
But I mean, he tries to pick his spots, but to me, he doesn't really. He doesn't do it enough. Like, all right, the main attacks is going to be through Vinny and now Mbappe. Cool, fine. But there are times he could pick his spots and be like, all right, let me start the offense. Let me collect in the middle, push it to either side, and get the game, get the offense flowing a little bit. And he doesn't do that enough, in my opinion. There are times he's like, wait, Rodrigo on the field? It's like, where is him? You know? So, and then there are other times it's like, hey, see, that is what we're talking about. So, I mean, it's on him, I guess, to really want it enough to carve out his own in the team now, but wait to be seen, I guess. But I find we saying that too much though.
And that's why I say he's the one that will actually lose his position if anybody have to lose a position. He is the questionable person in that starting lineup right now. Nobody else is questionable. Except maybe for Mendy, depending on what the case
Depending on yeah. But I mean,
right,
many still controls some level of defense, so it's still hard to say. Well, nah, we can't pick him.
Correct. So I mean, so Mendy has his role. He is a defensive left back.
Even if it's for 60 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever the case is.
He come in and he gonna lock down whoever's on that side.
Correct.
Right? Cool, no problem. But goals doesn't always come in and affect the game. Case in point, Brahim. Brahim comes in and is act like, yo, if I have 2 minutes, in this 2 minutes I go and cause it. I using Hendrick as a good example too. Hendrick just come on with dregs minutes right now. I mean, it's a small sample size, small, because it's not that long he's playing for Madrid.
But he gets some positions though. You see the little flashes and the aggression too. Is like, hey, yo, look for me, I'm here.
Correct. So that is all I want to see from goals. I want to see goals get into those positions, and use his skill set. Train. If it is that means that you have to train on your right for the rest of the season, train on your right, stay on your right. I'm not going nowhere. I'm hugging the right side, and I'm going to continue to work on my right side game because the right side is mine. If that has to be the mindset, cool. But at the end of the day, I think that if Ghost takes that right side and brings that skill set there, even if he's not 100% as what he will be on the left, if he brings 85 to 90% of what he can do on the right, it will still be curtains for any team.
Yeah, I would agree because I mean he shows minute flashes ever so often, and he's be like, yo, see, that's what we're talking about. That way we need more of that, and then he'll do it again about 2 more times and then fade out of the game for the next 15-20 minutes. And it's kind of hard to be like constantly rooting for him, and you see the potential, and he's just I'm not sure what it is, but he just kind of floats out of games. So I would hope that he there's a mindset about being on the left or whatever the case. I hope he changes and finds a way to really be that extra that X factor for the team.
And to be fair, he doesn't deserve to be a bench player, to be quite honest. On mostly any team in the world, goes as a starter. What goes on Barca's left, madness. What goes on Man City left, craziness. In any team that don't have, was it only a few teams you could call that don't have a decent left-sided player? Maybe AC Milan. You don't need to go to AC Milan.
Leao.
Yeah, but you don't need to go AC Milan. That's a waste of time. Right? Maybe Athletic Bilbao because they have Williams, so maybe it would make sense.
Inaki's more or less central.
Not Inaki, his brother, the younger brother, Nico. Yeah, he's on the left, so we might need him there. I mean, Bilbao doesn't really buy players, but
they are more homegrown. You gotta be from
Yeah,
the area, kind of
correct. So maybe Bilbao too because they have Nico, but most teams,
for the most part, he's a top winger in world football.
yeah. Any team, he could definitely take Rashford place. Sorry for bringing it up again, but I had to say it. He could definitely
You
take
ready? Turn on our
Rashford
shot,
place.
boy. Way, boy. Eh?
The man had to do more. He had to do more. He had to do more. He had to do more. Yeah, he had to do more. But yeah, so Goes just has to own that right side and
I
bring that
suppose. I
fire to that
suppose.
right side. Right.
He does. Agree.
Outside of that, the one team I haven't watched their games, but I'm watching the results and stuff. And a bit I don't know if to say disappointed or say expected, but Atletico Madrid, all that firepower that they went and get. They got this guy from City, the Argentine.
Um, when you're talking about, it's even slip my
Yeah,
right. But
yeah, his name not coming to mind right now. Yeah, got him. They got a good few players, well, offensive players, and they still had to
Alvarez.
depend on Alvarez. Yes, thanks. Yeah, they still had to depend on Korea coming on in the last and scoring any last minute for the last game for them. I haven't seen much change, well, at least from the highlights that I have seen. I haven't watched the entire games, but I haven't seen much change in terms of, hey, you have all this firepower now. You're knocking a brand. It still looks very Atletico Madrid, if you understand what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, they're still sitting third right now behind Real Madrid. So I guess they on brand right now in terms of where they expect it to be. So could we really say is anything different, any new? The Atletico is just being Atletico Madrid, I guess.
I guess. And we have to play them soon. And when I say we, I mean Real Madrid has to play them soon.
Yeah.
So I think we have Real Sociedad um, as the next league game coming up in should be in about 12 days. And then game after that,
They have
Atletico Madrid.
Valencia next, actually.
No, that Atletico Madrid have Valencia next, but Real Madrid
Oh,
have Real Sociedad next. I think
yeah,
it's Real
Sociedad.
Sociedad.
Yes, they have
Yeah.
Sociedad.
And then the
Yeah,
Madrid derby. So that'll be interesting to see because they always give us all the hell and then Barca just beat them like babies. So
Barca
I'm
be there like
expecting
deception.
anything different. What is real like someone side when it comes to Atletico Madrid versus Barca, right? But I guess you'll wait and see. Let's see if all that firepower finally comes forward. Could Simeone finally become a more offensive coach? I have my doubts, but we'll wait and see.
He had Morata, he had Depay, um, he had Griezmann, he had nah.
Talking about that, Atletico Madrid had some fire forwards.
Yes, they did.
Kun Aguero, Falcao, the
Torres,
players you mentioned, Torres. Well, Torres was before Simeone's time,
right?
right? But they had
But
some
didn't
fire
he come
strikers.
back in Simeone's time as well too?
Yeah, but by that time Chelsea touched him. So it's up to strikers when
Straight to
Chelsea.
the graveyard. He was
Yeah,
walking dead at
yeah,
that
that
point in
was
time.
it. Yeah, that was it. He had like two or three glimpses, and then that was it. Went and lift
Mhm.
weights after that. So
Um,
yeah,
you say Falcao. This next crazy one.
the Spanish Brazilian.
Yeah, who was in Chelsea.
Yeah. I tried to remember his name. I can't remember his name right now. I don't know, but yeah,
But
I
yeah,
know who
he
you're
was
talking
there
about.
too.
But yeah, he used to score plenty goals too. So yeah, they couldn't do it for Spain, but yeah, he used to score. It wasn't Costa,
Diogo Costa.
Diego Costa. That's it. Yeah. He had some fire times too.
Yeah.
But
At some fiery times, as a matter of fact.
He didn't go Chelsea too by chance?
Yeah, he went Chelsea as well. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
again touched by the Chelsea. Yeah, it happens. It happens. When you get touched by the Chelsea as a striker, it goes down one hill from there all the time.
But
Goes
now,
down.
Atletico had some fire strikers, forwards, offensive players, however you want to look at it, and they very rarely got over the humps.
I wouldn't say they really go for the hump. I would say Kun for sure had a great career for Atletico Madrid. For sure, for sure. I don't really like the guy right now because he's kind of kiss
He's
up
a
to
hater.
Barca a little too much. But he had a far career in Atletico Madrid. Falcao too. I
Mm-hmm.
remember Falcao poisoning. I try to remember who it was who won the Champions League that year, and they played Atletico Madrid because they won the Europa League, and Falcao hit them for three. I'm thinking it's Chelsea, but I'm not sure. But I do
Hmm.
remember Falcao poisoning that team, like full on poison.
Falcao making name though.
Yeah, Falcao was pure poison. I mean,
I
Torres in
mean,
this time was poison too.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, all of them was good. I mean, I wouldn't put Depay in the same list as those forwards. Not saying that Depay is crap, but he's not on the level of those strikers. He is not. Neither Morata. I wouldn't put Morata there either. I wouldn't.
I said dog though. I said dog though.
Nah, I mean, hey, I'm a Morata fan, but let me be very real, Morata not on that level. You can't put Kun and Morata in the same sentence unless you're saying Kun is better than Morata. Yeah, you just can't. You just can't. You just can't. You just can't.
Agreed, agreed, agreed. I can't even argue that. I can't even argue that.
All
I
right.
can't even argue it.
So yeah, I mean, even Griezmann, even before he went to Barca,
Well, I
Griezmann was
mean,
fire.
yeah, 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 yeah. He
Yeah,
he he left and had a shitty time in Barca and had to come back. And I think
yeah, yeah,
watching the La Liga doc, he said that he was like, you never know what you have until it's gone now, you know. You thought the grass is greener and you just had to come back. You had to come back home where everything makes sense. So
yeah, yeah. So I mean, kudos to Atletico for the scouting, finding these fire strikers. I mean, they haven't found an elite striker like those for a little while, but hopefully they'll be able to find one
I
in
mean,
the
but
near
who
future.
has though? I mean, outside of the three we mentioned earlier, Haaland, Osimhen, and Mbappe. And I won't even put Mbappe in that because Mbappe is not even a striker per se.
Right.
He's, he's trusted in the role, but he's not a striker per se.
Mm.
So, but outside of Haaland, right now, Haaland and Osimhen, who we could say is really like uh, 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 in this modern time, a true nine per se. It's rare. It's rare. I mean, there are players who fill the role, but a nine is missing in the modern game right now. Everybody's wingers.
Harry Kane. Harry, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You had to
Okay,
put Harry
okay,
Kane in there. You had to put
okay,
Harry Kane in there.
okay. Yes, he's not. I'll give it. I'll give it. I'll give it. I'll give it. It's
Harry
not.
Kane.
I'm
You
not
had
a
to put Harry
fan.
Kane.
I'm not a fan. But he does score. He does. He does do what he does well. But he is every team's blight.
Well, we can't say that yet. He might still get something in Bayern. We had to wait till the end of the season
And
to see
Bayern
what's
win
up.
everything for the past 11, 12 years in Germany. And as soon as Kane reach zero,
A side run perfect.
Arsenal going perfect too. Come now, man. Come now,
Nah,
man.
nah, nah. Yeah, they still have
At this point, he just had to
as
accept that
nah,
he
you'll get some with Bayern, man. You'll get some with Bayern.
He might
You
get
get
a
some, you
league
get
this
some
season.
back.
He might get a league. He might get a league. He might get a league. But we said
Yeah,
that
yeah.
last season too, and
Nah, you go get something, man. You get something. You get something. I'd rather he win something with Bayern Munich than win something with England, to be real honest. I'm real serious. I rather he win something with Bayern Munich.
he
Yeah.
might get a Confederations Cup, man.
Nah, nothing. I don't want England to get nothing.
Even a Nations League.
Nothing. Not even a Nations League.
You
England
mind
had
me,
to
but
stay in the corner and suffer. Right? Nah, you want that? Mm-mm.
nothing coming home.
Nothing coming home. The win coming home, right? Because, whoo, nah, the amount of talk that will come out from that alone, mm-mm. Nah, that'll be too much.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we touched on everything there. We covered
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
everything for the at least the start of the seasons. NFL is back. I think this weekend or next weekend. I think this Tuesday. I think NFL is back.
Well,
We
you
have
know me,
NBA
right?
coming up.
I waiting for the Super Bowl. I see
Yes,
anything.
yes.
You know that.
Yeah. I still, I Lamar Jackson. I the Cowboys. So you'll see what's going on with that. NBA preseason should start this month. Season starts in October. So some leagues coming back. Well, some sporting leagues coming back on. So it should be
Right.
fun times. I mean, we don't already cover
Yeah.
NFL that much. I mean, as you say, you Super Bowl or bus.
Super Bowl or boss. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Right, but I mean, we do have some NBA talk we will get into eventually. So
Brawny.
we look forward to that. Oh, we already
Yeah.
have Pat Beverly though. I mean, yeah.
Woke up feeling dangerous.
It was a preseason game.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
Maybe it's just it's like it's an earlier start for him as well too. So
If you want to use that as an excuse, no problem. You can go ahead. You can use that as an excuse. No problem.
I think I need to follow you basketball this year. I
Think you need to. I think you need to.
So yeah, I will look into that and see how those things go. But yeah, things are coming back on stream, so it should be some fun times and a lot of content, lot of talking points coming up.
Cool. Well, until next time then, we will discuss all them things. So right. Peace.
Peace.